Hey there, YouTubers and collectors. This is a special by request video dedicated to Mr. Ash J out there in Australia, down under. Wanted to see my UFC collection. This is the, not the entire, why is there, it looks like there's cocaine on Dana White's shirt. I don't know if he uses cocaine. That's what it looks like. I guess it's just dust. This is my entire round 5 collection. This is not Jack specific. I've got a whole Jack specific collection. But I used to actually turn down, I used to pass on the UFC round 5 figures. But then in the last year or so, I really started to fall in love with them again. So this is my entire round 5 UFC collection, starting here with Dana White. Next to him, of course, Bruce Buffer. I got the Bruce Buffer figure loose. That's why it looks like he's got some dirt on his forehead or something. Right over here is Big John McCarthy wearing an MMA Weekly armband. And let's take it with the champions. Start with the champions. Forgive me, I'm on a very noisy chair. But here we have Dominick Cruz. Now, I would start at Demetrius Johnson, but I don't have Demetrius Johnson, and round 5 has not made a Demetrius Johnson. Therefore, we got to start with Dominick Cruz. Dominick Cruz, Jose Aldo, Benson Henderson, George St. Pierre, and I've got 2 figures here representing Anderson Silva, John Bones Jones, and Cain Velasquez. We'll make our way over to the back. By the way, I've got a couple of Predator figures here, looking over things, watching over things. So over there in the back, we got Tito Ortiz, Diego Sanchez, Thiago Alves, Randy Couture, Chris Lieben, Brock Lesnar, Rich Franklin, Matt Serra, Anthony Pettis, and that's another Anderson Silva, Vitor Belfort, Lyoto Machida, Mark Munoz, Carlos Condit, Vanderlei Silva, Shogun over there on the back, Michael Bisping, Clay Guida, Jason Mayhem Miller, Sean Shirk, what is his name? Shane Carwin, there we go. Did I already say Clay Guida? Yes. And here we have, here's a good example of the difference between the older figures. This is a Matt Hughes figure, but this is not a UFC figure. This is, what's it called, MMA Champions, I believe, before they got, I guess, the UFC license. So as you can see, they were just a little more cartoony, because here he is next to Chael Sonnen in a newer figure. And by the way, this is for you, Ash. I would normally have Chael Sonnen in the back, but I put him up here in the front for you. There we got Matt Hughes, another Anderson Silva, which I think looks a little more like Czech Congo. Michael Bisping, Thiago Silva, Dan Hardy, Andrei Arlovsky, again with sort of a cartoony look, older figure. Don't have Ronda Rousey. They have not made Ronda Rousey, so there's a Gina Carano. We have to settle for her. Kenny Florian, Alistair Overeem, Frank Mir, an old Rich Franklin, the figure old, not him, Gray Maynard, another John Jones figure, which I don't think looks so much like him, Minotauro Nogueira there in the back, Rampage Jackson, and unlike the Jack specific figures, he did come with a chain, Don Fry in Pride attire, BJ Penn, Dan Henderson, Big Country, Nelson. What's his name? Nelson? Something Nelson. Big country. Brock Lesnar there in the back. Chuck Liddell. Bruce Lee. Forrest Griffin. Recently retired, one of my favorites. Hoist Gracie. Mark Coleman in Pride gloves. Bruce Lee again. Rampage Jackson, Rashad Evans. Kung Lee. And we have here the bride from Kill Bill there overseeing things. Did I say Hoist Gracie? I'll say him again. Old cartoony Randy Couture. See, again, we're not in UFC gloves, just MMA gloves. Trying to come around the side here, we got Frankie Edgar and Nick Diaz. And this is my entire UFC Round 5 collection here on top of my desk. I would love to have a ring girl, maybe Brittany Palmer or Ariane Celeste. I believe those are the only two. I would love to have a Mario Yamasaki, but those are pretty expensive. The ring girls are expensive. I would love to have a Joe Rogan, but he's pretty expensive. Boss Rutan is expensive. I don't like paying more than $10 or $15 for a Round 5 figure, and the Boss Rutans right now is about $40. Joe Rogan's about $40. The Brittany Palmer or Ariane Celeste is about $40, $50. I'm going to wait until those prices come down. Oh, by the way, in the back there, of course, I got a UFC belt and a taller Chuck Liddell fighting Randy Couture. These figures were shelf warmers. They really were, but I think they go great with this set, of course. Oh, and some of these guys came with pieces of the Octagon. Some 2-packs. I have a couple of 2-packs that came with the pieces of the Octagon. And there is the Buddha reminding us to be at peace. And there we have it, my entire Round 5 UFC collection as requested by Ash in Australia, down under. All right, everybody. This has been Salvador Los Angeles, and I thank you for watching.